Good afternoon. It's the appointed time, 4 o'clock. We have a quorum. I call to order the meeting of the panel. The first agenda item is policy briefings by the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau, the Innovation, Technology and Industry Bureau, and the Constitutional and Mainland Affairs Bureau. We'll now invite representatives from the administration to come inside the conference room. All right, to the left. Before officials are seated, let me brief members on the following, so that members have a more in-depth understanding of the government's policy directions. We are very honored to have Dr. Bernard Chen, Undersecretary for Commerce and Economic Development, as well as Acting Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry, Ms. Lillian Chung, and Mr. Clement Wu, Acting Secretary for Constitutional and Mainland Affairs, and other officials here today. I will now ask the secretaries to give presentations. We'll have Dr. Bernard Chen speak first. Thank you. Good afternoon, members. We are responsible for formulating different measures to align with the National 15 Five-Year Plan so that Hong Kong can better integrate and serve the country. And we have in our policy portfolio enhancing commercial relationships between Hong Kong and the rest of the world, supporting SMEs, promoting Hong Kong's participation in the Belt and Road Initiative, working to deepen collaboration with the mainland, protecting IP, etc. And our work is mainly taken forward by the Trade and Industry Department, Invest Hong Kong, Intellectual Property Department, as well as the 15 ETOs in the mainland and overseas. I will now give a brief presentation on the work of the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau to support mainland enterprises in going global. In order to do that in an orderly manner, in October last year, we set up a cross-bureau, cross-departmental, cross-sectoral Go Global task force. Under the task force, we have a cross-sectoral professional service platform to match professional service providers in Hong Kong to enterprises who are hoping to go global. We have convened 2 meetings to discuss the work of the task force and some promotional plans. In November last year, we held a large-scale publicity activity, and we have attracted over 500 mainland enterprise representatives and sector stakeholders attending the specific activity. And we also have a steering committee on attracting industries and investment, leading bureaus and departments as well as public bodies to formulate policy incentive packages that would include, say, land premium allowances as well as tax concessions. So Invest Hong Kong can flexibly make use of different policy incentives to support enterprises so as to make us more attractive. And Invest Hong Kong is actively working to identify and attract high value-added industries and high potential enterprises to come to Hong Kong to boost the local economy. On expanding international trade network, our 15 ETOs with the last ETO being one in Kuala Lumpur, established in December last year, and it has been commissioned. With ETOs, we should be able to deepen our promotion work in the ASEAN states as well as other Asian countries. We also want to reach out to other emerging markets in future. On deepening economic cooperation with the mainland, the amended CEPA has come into effect on 1st of March last year. After signing the agreement, we have held seminars for different sector stakeholders, as well as working with the Ministry of Commerce to hold seminars to publicize the latest changes. We will continue to seek to enhance freedom as well as flexibility of trading with the mainland on the basis of existing CEPA arrangements. On working to promote the Belt and Road Initiative, we have held the Belt and Road Summit, and it has attracted more than 200 representatives from different parts of the world. This year, we'll continue to hold the summit, and we will send delegations to Belt and Road countries to tap into different business opportunities. We will also work with public bodies and institutions in Hong Kong to provide training to Belt and Road country professionals, as well as work with enterprises to provide better support to them. On enhancing support for SMEs in face of external challenges, especially for SMEs because they have limited resources, they are faced with challenges. The HKSAR government therefore announced different measures in the policy address to enhance support for SMEs. For example, to increase their cash flow. For the SME Financing Guarantee Scheme, the 80% guarantee product, the application period of which has been extended by 2 years, alongside other measures. With these measures, we believe SMEs have more of a chance to tap into the opportunities brought about by economic recovery. We will also inject $1.43 billion into the BUD fund. We'll also expand the coverage to 8 new markets, many of them Belt and Road countries. And with the e-commerce EC, we believe it is more convenient for enterprises to apply for support to take part in promotional activities overseas to enhance exposure. With the prevalence of e-commerce, there are different business opportunities to be tapped into by different industries and sectors. In the next 3 years, we will hold the Hong Kong Shopping Festival in the ASEAN countries as well as the mainland to promote local products and services. We also have a new scheme that will improve exposed business matching and referral services to enhance e-promotion capabilities of enterprises and to help them tap into the latest pulse of the development of e-commerce. We also have new pilot locations for cross-boundary clearance facilitation arrangements to enhance efficiency of e-commerce. To also create synergy in e-commerce support, we have a new network that links up ETOs, Invest Hong Kong, TDC, and other consultant offices to tell the good stories of Hong Kong. And we believe with this, it will better help SMEs and local startups go global. The e-commerce express in future will organize more delegation visits so that enterprises can have better awareness of developments of different markets. On supporting expansion of the market by the export sector, and to enhance support to exporters. In the 2025 policy address, it is announced that the Export Credit Insurance Corporation will expand support in financing for different e-commerce platforms, and they will expand the coverage of the free buyer credit checking services. The ECRC will continue to pay close attention to the development of the export market and launch appropriate measures if necessary to help local exporters expand markets. On developing Hong Kong as a regional IP trading center, the government is planning multiple measures to promote IP financing and to build an IP ecosystem in Hong Kong. And we now have the IP financing sandbox project to provide patent analyses to enterprises, as well as a pilot support program for valuation. We have been actively promoting IP financing at Business of IP Asia Forum and provide training to the banking sector on IP. These measures are all interlinked to support the commercial application of IP. We are also looking into IP acquisition and use of IP rights related tax concessions. We will look into expanding the coverage of deductions in profits tax as well. On promoting digitalization of trade documents, for B2G trading agreements, we are actively developing the third phase of trade single window system so that we can launch the services in batches in the middle of this year to continue to promote alignment between the trade single windows of Hong Kong and the mainland, and we're looking into to expand the arrangements to other trade documents. We are also working with the ASEAN to have a pilot scheme so that we can collaborate on trade single window to provide more facilitation to enterprises. We are also looking into the UNCITRAL's model law on electronic transferable records, and we are consulting stakeholders on relevant legislative proposals. We plan to submit the legislative proposals to the Council this year. That's it for my presentation, and I am more than willing to answer members' questions later. I will now invite Ms. Lillian Chung to speak. Good afternoon, Chair and members. I'm very honored to be here today to brief members on the major policies of the Innovation, Technology and Industry Bureau. We are trying to expedite the process in fostering new drivers of growth, promote technological innovation, and strive to achieve substantive progresses and breakthroughs in improving and upgrading the economic structure. We are also implementing the INT development blueprint promulgated a few years ago to promote Hong Kong's development into an international INT center. There are several main directions that would include promoting new industrialization, nurturing INT talents, and creating new impetus for growth for Hong Kong. And we now have a new structure where we have different institutes playing a key role in development. In up and midstream, we have the Microelectronics Research and Development Institute, and we also have the Life and Health Technology Research Institutes, as well as the AI and Robotics Institutes completing the construction this year. We also will have other institutions set up one by one in the first half of this year. We will also make good use of the $10 billion Raise Plus scheme to boost collaboration between the research sector, academia, and the industry. On promoting downstream new industrialization, we are trying to enhance scenario-based investment promotion. We have also lowered the minimum requirement for cost of project from $300 billion to $150 billion. We are also providing matching support. We are also launching the Manufacturing Plus scheme to provide support to enterprises. In 2026 and 2027, we will start the industry-oriented fund and work with the Ministry of Industry and Technology to take forward the cooperation agreement.
And the SAR government in December last year on the medium long-term development of industrialization in Hong Kong, we're going to carry out a survey study to how to integrate into the overall plan for the 15th five-year plan and new industrialization, and also to support startups and to create a pool of innovation technology talent. We are launching a accelerator scheme to match support for more startup. And in September last year, we launched a support scheme with $3 billion to promote development of the talent pool. In order to promote people-oriented research, we, through the Innovation Technology Fund, launched a 2-year plan to help research and providing support for amputees in Hong Kong to be entitled to use the latest technology. And the blueprint also proposes Hong Kong's integration into the overall national development and strengthen Hong Kong's international advantage. In this area, the He Tao Song was fully commissioned last December. The first 2 buildings commissioned are now being rented by 60 tenants. And we have also decided on the proposals to be offered to people who are interested in invest in the site. And the overall development can provide a total floor area of 200 square meters. And the Hong Kong SL government is actively discussing with the Shenzhen municipal government and relevant ministries to work on the actual details. To try to have a trial scheme of have a free flow of data and samples from the mainland to the Hong Kong park. And also the Western Cross River Link Bridge project has been activated. Once the project or the bridge is completed, then that could provide convenient transportation network for talents coming to and from Hong Kong and Shenzhen. Sentin Technopole has got a clear development plan. We would move fully towards, depending on the supply of land spaces, on gradual basis. We would, through the mode of creating a designated or dedicated company, to invite private companies to join in the development of the Sentin Technopole. The SAR government will also honor agreements signed with some central ministries, provinces, and municipalities. And we also strive to organize academic conferences and to encourage more collaborations on the international front in research and development. Chairman, we will continue to implement the various initiatives to turn Hong Kong into an innovation and technology hub. I'm happy to answer any questions members have. Thank you. So, Secretary Wu, next. Members, this is the first time that the Constitutional and Mainland Affairs Bureau is participating in this panel. We want to brief you on our policies on collaborating with the Mainland. And through the 14th the 15th 15-year plan, the 15 5-year plans, right? And under it, it actually has proposals for the development of Hong Kong, and there's the plan to create Hong Kong into a center for innovation technology, finance, and also place for the gathering of talents. And this is the overall development direction for Hong Kong, and also it ties in with the positioning of the national government. The SAR government would actively align with the central government's plan, and so as to further facilitate the overall development. The development of the Hong Kong, Guangdong, Macau Greater Bay Area is an important national strategy spearheaded by President Xi, and we will, together with Guangdong and Macau, join hands in turning the Greater Bay Area into a new strategic fulcrum of the new development pattern of our country, and also a demonstration stone of high-quality development and a pioneer of Chinese modernization. With the staunch support of the country, Hong Kong SAR and other cities in the Greater Bay Area have all along been working closely to continuously foster a high level of connectivity and market integration among the cities of the Greater Bay Area. We will continue to work with the Macau government and the government in the Guangdong area to continue to deepen our collaborations and to foster the flow of logistics, information, and finance so as to strive to have more breakthroughs in policies that can foster integration of Hong Kong into the overall Greater Bay Area, and that can also allow the country to have high-level opening up to the outside world. The SAR government will continue to leverage its advantage of being backed by the mainland and being open to the international community. And we also play the role of helping mainland enterprises go global. We'll tell good stories about the Greater Bay Area and to Hong Kong, Macau, and the international community, the huge opportunities that are now there in the Greater Bay Area for development. We will try to use Hong Kong as the good platform for inviting investments into the area and also helping mainland enterprises go global. Hong Kong now with Shenzhen, Beijing, Zhejiang, Fujian, Hubei, and Chongqing, Sichuan. We have established collaboration mechanisms with them to have a comprehensive exchange and development of culture, tourism, education, hygiene, and so forth. Last April, the Hong Kong chief executive met with the chief of the Zhejiang province for the first time, and that is the second collaboration mechanism established by the Hong Kong SAR government with the mainland province. And 4 documents were signed, reaching consensus on 14 areas of collaborations. We'll deepen collaborations with mainland authorities, and we'll study and look into exploring more collaboration platforms with mainland cities and provinces so as to align with the overall development plan of the nation. Hong Kong now has 5 offices strategically established in the east, west, south, north, and central. And also we have 11 liaison offices located in various places. The offices have the function of deepening the links and communications with the mainland authorities and to help Hong Kong businessmen tap into the mainland market and also tell good stories about Hong Kong and to promote Hong Kong's unique characteristics and its distinctive investment and business advantages of having strong support from the motherland and close connection with the world. So we also have the Office for Attracting Strategic Enterprises and the Hong Kong Talent Engage in attracting enterprises and talent to Hong Kong, as well as facilitating youth and cultural exchanges between Hong Kong and the mainland, and providing practical experiences assistance to Hong Kong residents. And we will also support the initiatives of attracting mainland enterprises go global and also to develop Study in Hong Kong initiative to appeal to more students from China and also researchers to come to Hong Kong. I we'll stop here, and I'm happy to answer any questions that members may have. Thank you. Now the floor is open to members. Anyone who wants to ask questions, please press the button. Let me remind you that the questions should revolve around commerce, industrial commercial services, innovation and technology, protection of intellectual property, fostering foreign investments, so issues related to our panel. That is. Now I've seen 9 members who've pressed the button. So I'll read out their names. They are Dennis Leung, Hong Kam Yin, Ray Wong, Tommy Chung, William Wong, Thomas So, Alan Chen, Michael I, and Yu Ming. 9 of them. So each will have 4 minutes, including question and answer. The first one, Dennis, please. Chairman, I've noted that in the paper submitted by the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau, paragraph 10, it says that in the 2025 policy address, there will be a steering committee to be set up to approve on land grants, tax deductions, and other incentives. I've noticed that actually in Hong Kong, quite a number of enterprises, they are having businesses on the mainland, but they would not come back into Hong Kong to create factories here because of the size limitations and the insufficient supply of electricity, and also the production chain is inadequate, and there are also standards which are not keeping pace with the current changes. So, and also with the limitations on manufacturing in Hong Kong, the resources required need to be up to 40%. So, going forward, how can the Hong Kong government speed up the process so that the enterprises which have set up operations on the mainland can come back here to set up shop and promote the local economy? Thank you, Mr. Leung. For the BUD fund, it is there to help enterprises upgrade and transform themselves. And so through such initiatives, the enterprises can explore various markets. Just now you mentioned, you heard about the packages of preferential policies. So we will continue to observe the situation, and while we know that different enterprises have different needs. As I said when I took you through the paper, in the Go Global Task Force, we will, on the basis of the strengths, demands of different enterprises, and we will see what are their actual needs. And then we'll try to offer them the appropriate policies or support for them. Follow-up question. Many enterprises which have operated on the mainland, Cyberport, Port, and the Science Park have contacted them, asking them to come back. But for manufacturing in Hong Kong, the production chain is inadequate. And also, they are expected to comply with the rule of having 40% being locally oriented. So can you actually liaise with those enterprises again, ask them what are the obstacles? I think the government needs to do more before we can promote advanced manufacturing in Hong Kong. Any other response? Let me try to respond here. I think, Mr. Leung, you actually mentioned what we are trying to address. You may know that the Innovation and Technology Bureau, we have a new industrialization office. So what it covers is we do hope to cultivate and foster strategic emerging enterprises. At the same time, we do want to help traditional enterprises to upgrade themselves. So, Mr. Leung, just now you mentioned the problem. You said the Cyber Park and Hong Kong Science Park and He Tao Song and also our new industrialization office have actively reached out to enterprises in the Greater Bay from Hong Kong to ask them to come back here. At the same time, of course, they would need to fit in with the characteristics of Hong Kong. I think considering the costs on the mainland, they may not want to move or replicate their operations here, but they may want to have more value added and effective or cost effective operations here, or more high end manufacturing here in Hong Kong. As for the support measures like electricity supply, we will, on a comprehensive basis, try to bring good projects back to Hong Kong to create economic benefits. And we also want to help with the new industrialization of Hong Kong.
What is most important is we need to have regard to the local circumstances and make sure we're doing it at the right timing. Thank you. Next, Mr. Hong Kam Im. Thank you, Chair. I've heard the presentations of the three bureaus. From what I heard, they are working hard to boost the economy. I have some suggestions. The chief executive has an advisory body of his own that would provide high-level advice to the chief executive. So we have three bureaus here today: the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau, the Innovation, Technology and Industry Bureau, as well as Constitutional and Mainland Affairs Bureau. Can we set up think tanks under each of the bureaus so that the bureaus can better understand the trends in their specific portfolios? Second, we have a lot of different bodies in Hong Kong that are familiar with mainland operations. We have some clansmen's associations. We also have some associations related to the National People's Congress and Political Consultative Conference. I see in the government's work, we have not really fully leveraged on these associations or maybe even chambers of commerce relationships and powers. So how can we make good use of the network to recruit more mainland enterprises to come to Hong Kong and supporting mainland enterprises in going global? Third, I note in the presentation of the Innovation, Technology and Industry Bureau, there are some latest updates. Many SMEs want to have the digital transformation pilot program resumed. And if it is resumed, we want to have an expanded coverage, including AI applications and cybersecurity services in the funding scheme. I hope that this can happen to provide better support to SMEs. The country highly supports Hong Kong's development, including at the level of a state council. The state council actually promulgated a non-Shah plan, and we also have the Shanghai Modern Services Cooperation Zone designated for the service of Hong Kong. So we need to really make good use of such infrastructure for development. Thank you. Well, I believe you asked questions in 4 areas instead of 3. We'll have the first question on think tanks, all 3 secretaries answering the questions, and then we'll have the respective bureaus answering the other questions. Thank you. Perhaps Mr. Clowen Wu can answer the question first. Thank you. We do maintain close liaison with different associations, especially those related to official bodies of the country. They are often elites, the members, and they come from different sectors. We have a regular exchange mechanism, and we would hold meetings with NPC deputies every now and then. We will continue to work with NPC deputies as well as members of the Chinese Political Consultative Conference. I'll perhaps leave some time to other officials. Thank you, Chair. Shanghai is an important cooperation platform of the Greater Bay Area, and we do maintain close liaison with the relevant authority. They recently promulgated the Shanghai Construction 2026 plan, and specific directions were included in the plan. We are actively studying the measures in the plan, and we also support Shanghai in being a pilot location for various arrangements. We will also deepen institutional opening up with Shanghai and try to align our rules even better. We also want to try to make use of it as a demonstration zone for alignment in finance as well as legal and rules aspects. And we are also trying to promote the cross-boundary flow of different inputs. We are looking also to promote high quality development of modern services. And I hope that in future we can have more in-depth cooperation with the mainland. Perhaps Ms. Lin Chong can give a brief reply as well. Thank you. Our view is very much in line with that of the member. We want to have digital transformation support for SMEs so that they can tap into the new economic opportunities. The member mentioned whether we can expand the coverage to cover AI solutions and some cybersecurity services. This is the direction we're taking actually, and we would call in future the scheme 2.0 that will have increased coverage. The current program has been received well by SMEs, providing in total $430 million in funding support. We hope that SMEs can perhaps make use of AI solutions on top of existing solutions, as well as cybersecurity services in the future program. We are currently considering the different solutions. We also want to expand industrial coverage from only F&B industry and retail to tourism and personal services. And we will seek funding approval with the council this year. We hope to receive member support then. Thank you. Mr. Ray Wong. Actually, I recently received feedback from the relevant sector that the ECIC insurance arrangements in reality cannot really respond to the needs of enterprises, especially those of SMEs. So I hope in future you can provide better support to the relevant sector. And the ECIC, when reviewing insurance, they will also consider the overall risk capacity of suppliers. They will also set an overall cap for a brand or supplier. So will we have more enterprises taking up the insurance capacity of the ECIC, and in turn that affects the insurance offer for small and medium enterprises? Does the government have any plans to review the existing arrangements and consider making appropriate adjustments if necessary to provide better coverage to SMEs in order to better support SMEs in the export sector? Thank you. I will now invite the ECIC official to answer the question. Thank you. We have all along been looking to support SMEs. In fact, they are our main target group. We also serve larger enterprises. We do not determine priorities based on the scale of the enterprises. We just do it on a first come first serve basis. We do set a cap for a particular client, but we are not inclined towards any particular client. We have many support measures launched before to support SMEs. In April 2025, when we had uncertainties about the tariff situation, we quickly launched a series of support measures targeting especially SMEs so that they can have free pre-shipment cover. In 2023, we also raised the coverage from 90% to 95%, and the 95% coverage is specifically for small business policy. And for larger businesses, we will go with a case-by-case basis on providing 95% coverage. We also have cross-boundary commerce support targeting SMEs, and we had earlier flexible reimbursement arrangements. We also have the 100% increase in insurance coverage for SMEs during the pandemic. Should enterprises face any challenges, they can reach out to us directly. If they have any questions about credit applications, we can provide them with more detailed answers. Any follow-up questions? None? Thank you. Mr. Tommy Chung, the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau detailed many measures for the support of SMEs. Many SME stakeholders ask if you can improve the arrangements for Easy Bud and lower the suspension period. Right now it's 6 months, and there is also a cap of $100,000. Can you increase the cap? And with the Bud Fund approval process, we want it to be shortened to provide continuous support to enterprises. Right now, e-commerce easy support, the $100,000 coverage would have some sort of overlap. But then once they have used up the $100,000, because the development of e-commerce infrastructure is continuous, enterprises can't help but become affected, and they want more of a buffer with Bud Fund so that they can have continuous funding. I also appreciate how the Bureau also has plans to support Hong Kong's development into a regional IP trading center. Apart from hardware, I think we should have more support for digital content, especially AI-generated content. Does the Bureau have a timeline to have standardization of IP, as well as to facilitate participation in IP financing sandbox project so that we can flesh out the trading ecosystem? I lastly have a question for the Constitutional and Mainland Affairs Bureau about alignment of standards between Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area. Can we have Hong Kong standards and align that with Greater Bay Area standards in terms of products? All right. We'll have perhaps the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau representative respond first. Thank you. Perhaps I'll answer the last question first. On Bay Area standards, we have governments in different mainland cities having different standards for different products and services. We want to really increase the quality of products and services and to have better connectivity and integration. Right now, there are over 200 standards promulgated. We are working with different units to promote alignment of standards. We are also encouraging local bodies to make use of Bay Area standards to tap into relevant business opportunities. Let me give you a concrete example. In terms of silver economy, we have been working with an NGO and the Chinese Manufacturing Association to have specific standards for soft meals, and these standards have been included in the Greater Bay Area standards so that the commercial sector can better tap into business opportunities in the Greater Bay Area market. As for the first and second questions, I will ask the Trade and Industry Department representative answer the question, as well as IPD representative answer the relevant question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zhong, for your question. We do support SMEs, the current term government, and as the Undersecretary said in the beginning, there is an allocation of $1.4 billion allocated for their purpose or benefit. And in March last year, we launched improvement measure to change the Easy Bud, which used to be open to applications every 6 months. The time period is now reduced to 3 months, so SMEs now can apply for support more frequently. And also another improvement measure include that every 3 months, SMEs can make a general application for an Easy Bud support, and also another support for e-commerce operations. So we are trying to cater to the specific needs, financial needs of SMEs. Intellectual property, Mr. Ho. Thank you for your question. I would like to make 2 points. For culture, creative industries, films, music, well, they are entitled to copyright protection. So we will keep updating our copyright ordinance. In 2022, we have formulated amendments that is in the digital environment, cultural creative works, their IPs can actually be entitled to clear legal protection. And lately, we are carrying out a consultation on the development of artificial intelligence and its impact on copyrights. And we've said that we could look at possible areas for exemption. So we're carrying out with that area of work. And in promoting cultural and creative industries, they actually is under the purview of the relevant office. And together with the Trade Development Council, there is this Asian intellectual property platform, which is trying to and also doing is part to try to promote creative products with their intellectual property protected. Well, our next meeting could actually discuss what you just mentioned, actually. But the next member is William Wong. Thank you, Chairman. Just now, Secretary mentioned the Hetao area and the Hong Kong Park of the Hetao Cooperation Zone. I joined in this opening, and I have a question that now with this zone operating, we're now with us 3 science and research parks. So can you tell us the different positioning of the 3 scientific parks? And also in the Hetao area, there's the Hong Kong and the Shenzhen Park. And you mentioned just now there's the cross-border flow of samples and data, which is very important to the development of the whole area. We may be lagging a bit behind. So do you think that could have a negative impact on the Hong Kong Park of the Hetao Zone? And also my third question is for the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau. Earlier on, through the economic and trade offices, you launched the Going Global Task Force, but has the task force invited HKTISC to get involved so as to offer protection for patents related to scientific research? So maybe Innovation Technology Bureau first can answer first. Permanent Secretary, please. Thank you, Mr. Wong. On the first two questions about the 3 parks, INT parks. Well, as Mr. Wong said and the Secretary mentioned, the Hong Kong Park of the Hotel Corporation Zone. Testing. Can you hear me? On the Hong Kong Park of the Hotel Corporation Zone, now we have created the layout for 3 major INT parks. And the Science Park and Cyberport are all familiar to you, and members have also mentioned them. In our south, that is Hong Kong Island South Cyberport, because of its geographic location and because there are chips housed there, the Cyberport will focus on artificial intelligence data and regional chain development. And it's been developing well, and also in relation to fintech innovation, it has achieved a lot. So for Cyberport, we know that they are in need of expansion, so its phase 5 expansion is underway, and more spaces will be created. So that's the positioning of Cyberport. Science Park is more an integrated park with an area of 20 hectares. It's been developing well. It's got a complete ecosystem, and it has also various kinds of support in terms of, for example, land and so forth. We'll look into whether it can expand further. And also in the condominium for tenants working in the science park may be lacking. So we'll look into whether we should invest in more accommodation for talents. As for Hong Kong Park of the Hotel Corporation Zone is the latest one, and we are very encouraged by its establishment. It's positioned as a cross-border innovation and technology cooperation area that is between Hong Kong and the mainland. So that with the cooperation, we can foster development in the Hong Kong Park and the Shenzhen Park, and also the development of the Santin Technopole. It will be a natural extension of the hotel area. Hong Kong Park occupies 80 hectares, and Shenzhen Park occupies 300 hectares, and Santin Technopole occupies 200 hectares in terms of size. So that would actually give Hong Kong an advantage. As I mentioned, Mr. Wong also mentioned that the Hong Kong Park of the Hotel Corporation Zone, what are its advantages? Well, that would make possible a free flow of data between the 2 parks. So whether talents flow or other flow of information, I think, and also with the completion of the West Cross Border Park, River Park, we would look into further support for them. And are we lagging behind? Not really. At the central level, the relevant mainland ministry do support the interflow of data between Hong Kong and Shenzhen. But whether it's Shenzhen, even though it started earlier, but it's based on its existing buildings in Poultry District. But for the Hong Kong Park, its 2 laboratories have just recently opened. We will look at their business model, the true business model, and scientific research and business operations, and we will ensure through dedicated means that the flow of biosamples and data, and they could be freely transported to across the border, and we provide the financial support needed and other measures necessary for the exchange of samples. Okay, going global, as I mentioned, we are trying to create a cross-professions service platform to align mainland enterprises with relevant service providers in Hong Kong so they can make good use of the services available. So I can ask our Permanent Secretary to supplement. Thank you. In response to Mr. Wong's question, As we mentioned, the Going Global Task Force is a cross-sector platform. Its members consist of, besides representatives from the relevant bureaus, there are also representatives from the Hong Kong Productivity Council. And we will provide support for the development of new technology in Hong Kong. So if there are any enterprises with needs in IP and also patents, we can, through the platform, provide support. Next one is Thomas So. Thank you, secretaries, for your detailed reports. I've got 3 questions. The first one is, well, for the sector, well, I hope you can give me an answer. I think it's related to Commerce and Economic Development Bureau about our entry into RCEP. We've been waiting for entry into it for a long time. In your report, you said that we will still have to wait before we can join RCEP. What are the reasons for this delay? What are the difficulties? Has the Bureau considered ways to try to address this issue? Would you discuss it with the central government, maybe to get them to help us join RCEP earlier? And second question is about the Greater Bay Area in relation. That is the question for the Constitutional and Mainland Affairs Bureau. In recent years, I've been organizing arbitration companies to carry out research in Hong Kong that is coming from Guangdong to Hong Kong and carry out survey and research here. But some of these participants, because they work for the government, they could not get the approval to come on the business trips to Hong Kong. We wanted to host such visits here, but then they said to us, why don't you come to host the events in Shenzhen? So can your bureau give us a hand to help coordinate for us so that we can help these officials from Guangdong, the Greater Bay Area, to come to Hong Kong for seminars on arbitration issues, for example, so that we don't need to organize the activities in Shenzhen instead, because if that happens, that means Hong Kong would not be in control. And thirdly, for the application of AI, I very much support the application of AI, but I'm concerned that for AI-generated images, there are limitations. There's a judicial report which says that the use of AI-generated images, there are limitations. That is, even if you have inputted the prompts, the result may not be accurate or complete, and there could be hallucinations. So for professional services, particularly given this report by the judiciary, people would be hesitant about using the AI-generated functions. So would you have any policies, or are you thinking about ways to improve on the situation or to reduce the drawbacks of AI-generated or generative functions? So Commerce and Economic Development Bureau first. Thank you. The Hong Kong SL government on various occasions have expressed the desire of Hong Kong to join RCEP, and the central government is actively in support of our desire, and also members of RCEP have given us positive responses. In September last year, ministers have confirmed that we can join the Ascension Group. And we'll continue to actively fit in with the requirements of RCEP and carry out lobbying work to hopefully have an early ascension to RCEP. Okay, how about approvals for mainland officials to come to Hong Kong? I think for the arbitration professionals exchanges, but as for legal talents, their exchanges would come under the Department of Justice. But we will discuss with the department and see how we can foster further exchanges between arbitration professionals between Hong Kong and Guangdong. Okay. Innovation technology, AI generated functions. I'll ask Mr. Wang to answer. Thank you, Mr. So. As for AI generated function, we have been paying attention to the development of technology, and in due course, we'll launch appropriate guidelines for proper applications of the latest technology. And because it's still at an early phase or new phase of development, applications wise, we do need to carry out more research. And we do hope that whether it's government departments or various sectors, I hope they can have more exchanges among them. As far as I know, in the technology field, on the limitations of artificial intelligence generated functions, they are aware of limitations and various models. So I think they have been aware of some solutions that they can use to address the limitations. So, for example, for applications, for example, in the legal field, there can be more exchanges among them.
請陳忠。
All right, next we have Mr. Alan Chan. Thank you, Chair. I want to talk about in particular about the National 15 5-year plan, as it says that we need to have policy measures to provide convenience to Hong Kong residents developing and living in the mainland. And we already have 840,000 living in the mainland and 560,000 of them living in Guangdong province and 280,000 living in other provinces. So we have quite a number of Hong Kongers living in the mainland. How can our economic and trade offices really serve the many residents living there? There's the problem of mainland taxation. The definition of permanent resident in mainland, they have a 5-year grace period that ended in 2024 because it started in 2019. I believe it was 31st of October in 2024 that it ended. So I want to ask, for Hong Kongers conducting business in the mainland, will they be regarded as permanent residents in the mainland and be taxed? I also want to ask, if one purchases property, one may also be regarded as a mainland resident. Many Hong Kongers purchase property in the mainland. How can they prevent themselves from falling into the pitfall of acquiring a permanent residence? Because with that, they will be taxed a lot higher. Third, on facilitation in other aspects. Right now, according to the immigration ordinance, if one is not in Hong Kong for 36 consecutive months, they may lose their permanent resident identity in Hong Kong. Will we consider reviewing relevant legislation? We have many Hong Kongers living in the mainland for a long period of time. How can we make sure their rights are protected if they wish to live on the mainland? I also have several other questions for the Constitutional and Mainland Affairs Bureau. We actually have quite a stable constitutional system, and we now have more needs for services to be provided to Hong Kongers in the mainland. Is the current manpower deployment within the Bureau appropriate? We actually receive a lot of complaints, and every time we go to Macau, we would have a representative from the Bureau, and when we go to the mainland, it would be the Undersecretary accompanying us. And it seems that with the difference in level, it seems that there is some sort of minimization in functions? Is it because was insufficient manpower? If you need funding or other kind of support to better aid your deployment, please tell us. I did not have this question in mind when I started speaking, but so this is an additional question. Thank you. Mr. Clement Wu, thank you. I believe Mr. Alan Chen is very familiar with how things work in the mainland and what policy measures there are, support or restrictions. It often hinges on mainland policy, and we have 5 ETOs and 11 liaison offices serving Hong Kongers as well as Hong Kong enterprises. The offices can provide legal consultation, or they can just get feedback from individuals and enterprises on things to improve on, and we can convey their views to the relevant authorities and bodies. As for taxation, I believe Mr. Alan Chen is well aware we can convey our views after some discussions, but then it is ultimately dependent on the mainland authorities. As I said earlier, we have 5 mainland ETOs, and we have from Hong Kong about 80-odd staffers. We have other staffers engaged in the mainland cities. As I said earlier, the 5 ETOs are in different parts of China. We believe we have a good positioning because it is in the north, south, east, west, and the central part of China. And they have been actively providing help to those who sought assistance from them and promoting liaison. Mr. Chen asked many different questions, and we have recorded all of them. We, of course, want to provide facilitation to individuals and enterprises. And as Mr. Alan Chen said, this is what is said in the National 15 5-year plan. We'll continue to look into how we can provide facilitation to Hong Kongers and Hong Kong enterprises. Thank you, Chair. If you recorded the questions, once you have any updates on the situation, please report to the panel. Thank you. Professor Michael I. Thank you, Chair. I would first like to thank the 3 bureaus representative for giving presentations. First of all, on the work of the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau, I have seen their efforts are quite successful. They have attracted many mainland and overseas enterprises to Hong Kong. I hope that the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau can provide more concrete figures instead of providing estimations so that we have a better gauge of the current situation. And we have other bureaus as well as the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau signing memoranda of cooperation with different bodies. I hope that instead of having just this announcement, we can talk about specific results, how many enterprises have been attracted, for example. We want to have enterprises coming to Hong Kong, especially mainland enterprises. We want to work with them because we want them to come to Hong Kong, and we can also help them go global. For example, we have recently worked with a train company, and that we have helped them go to Sydney, and they are operating the railway system there as well as providing maintenance services. And we can also have them work with different academic institutions. I believe one is working with City University at the moment. We can really work on this success and try to have more of such collaboration. Or if you have other success examples you can share with us, please do so. On the work of the Innovation, Technology and Industry Bureau, can you talk about how you can enhance collaboration with R&D institutes in the mainland and overseas? We want to also talk about, I also want them to talk about how we can have enhanced collaboration with R&D institutes between production lines in applications as well as the exploration of markets. Thank you. I will ask the director of Invest Hong Kong to provide more specific figures first. Thank you. We have successfully attracted enterprises to Hong Kong. After they have come to Hong Kong, we will issue questionnaires to them to provide us with information, how much investment they have made, how many people they have hired, what spaces they have rented, how many employment opportunities they provided. So this is what we'll do in the first year. Indeed, we do not have figures for subsequent years because right now with direct investment, we do not have any approval locally and we do not have any cap, unlike in the mainland. So we will only know about the more specific business information once they have declared such information in the filing of taxes, but this is confidential information, so we cannot really announce it to the public. But I think only with information in the first year, we have quite accurate estimates of what is going on because we know that information from the business plans. So our announced figures, even though their estimations are quite accurate. Do you have answers to other questions such as the MOU or in the introduction of enterprises? We did not sign specific memoranda of understanding with enterprises. We only do that with authorities in the mainland, for example, when we're preparing for a high-tech zone or if we're helping enterprises in the zone to go public, or when we have cooperation with specific bodies, we'll assign memoranda of understanding. Thank you. ITIB representative. Thank you. We very much agree with what the member said. We need to leverage on the advantages of Hong Kong, especially our strengths in R&D, to make Hong Kong into an international R&D exchange platform. We have some examples of our work that demonstrate this. We are making good use of the Inno Hong Kong platform to promote international R&D collaboration, and the government has provided support by giving a funding of $10 billion for AI and robotics and life and health technology. We have attracted 50 laboratories that have the collaboration between local universities and institutes, top-notch institutes from the rest of the world, Chinese Academy of Sciences, Peking University, Oxford University, Stanford University, Harvard University, etc., working together to promote R&D and realization of R&D outcomes. Through this platform, we have put together wisdom of over 3,000 talents in R&D. We have over the past few years through the Inno Hong Kong platform nurtured over 120 startups. We have over 1,400 patents registered or being registered. We see very good results so far, which is why we are looking to set up the third Inno Hong Kong cluster, focusing on a different area. In September last year, we have this Frontier Technology Research Support Program. Through this program, we want to continue to enhance the innovation capabilities of Hong Kong so that we can, by recruiting more talents from different parts of the world, and with them, they should bring their teams to Hong Kong. We not only focus on upstream areas, we also try to, on top of attracting mainland overseas resources, striving for better connectivity within the Greater Bay Area so that we can pull together R&D resources as well as promote exchanges and collaboration between the research sector, the academia, and the industry so as to realize different R&D outcomes. We'll continue with our work in future. Thank you. Mr. Yu Ming, I would like to thank the three bureaus for giving presentations. I want to ask about some of the information provided in 2026. This year, the government plans on holding more activities, and we have for the 70 activities, do we have a targeted approach to really strive for the support of some countries who have reservations for the accession of RCEP? If some members object to this, should we do more or should we do something else instead? On international exchange and cooperation, we have seen the government sign many memoranda of understanding. We have signed 45 memoranda of understanding in a particular event, and we have actually 6,200 participants in the particular event. That was a KPI, so we met that KPI. Are there any other examples of such great participation? We have seen tense geopolitics in the Middle East. Will that cause some pressure on delegation visits? Thank you.
Okay.
Two questions for the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Yu. On Mr. Yu's point, query about Hong Kong having organized more than 70 activities related to RCEP, we do hope that through various platforms and activities, we can consolidate various resources to support Hong Kong's accession to RCEP. So, Mr. Yu, if other members have relevant platforms, activities related, then we're very willing to take part to tell good stories about Hong Kong. RCEP, you all know that it's 15 economic entities, our main trade partners, and 13 of them have signed with us free trade agreements. Japan, South Korea have with us other agreements as well. So there are G2G liaisons. So the links are there. If Hong Kong can join RCEP earlier, then we can create an even tighter economic collaboration framework. So we do welcome LegCo members and various organizations to join hands with us to fight for Hong Kong's accession to RCEP. Okay, my colleague will supplement for the other question. Yes, you're right. The 10th Belt and Road Summit saw the signing of 40 memorandums of understanding, and the chief executive said in his opening remark that the trade agreements were worth $1 billion. So actually the memorandums of understanding signed have turned into actual contracts, generating various monetary benefits. And even our office, when we went overseas for business, we also signed other memorandums of understanding concerning either platform-to-platform collaboration or others. Because of the collaborations available on platform, Hong Kong's SMEs and chambers of business can have access to business partners and have access to local trade networks along the Belt and Road. And there is also another kind of memorandum which is signed on the basis of projects. So since the last summit last year, we have already invited various countries along the Belt and Road to actually stage roadshows in Hong Kong of their signature projects. And through the roadshows here, we hope that Hong Kong investors, contractors, or even professional service providers can join in bidding for participation in their projects. So in the summit, more than 100 networking activities were held. So the summit marks an important platform an important milestone for us as well. So by taking professional service providers in Hong Kong out to the Belt and Road areas, that is what we are doing actually throughout the year. Every year we've got different plans and go to different countries along the area, and also we will take members and stakeholders or members of chambers of commerce to go on visits to places like Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam. So we've been to those countries, but this year we'll look into the markets in Central Asia, South Asia, or even the Middle East. Last one, Mr. Kenneth Falk. Thank you. I've got 3 questions. One is for the Constitutional and Mainland Affairs Bureau. 2 others are for the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau. The first one, Chairman, lately, Hong Kong people are very concerned about the operations of Hong Kong's Economic and Trade Office on the mainland. So can you take advantage of today's meeting to tell us about the importance of the work of the ETOs on the mainland? And also, lately, we saw from the news that the former director of the ETO, Mr. Cheng, he was hired after he had retired. I wonder, is that a common situation? As far as I know, for such position, it is important. But is it that not many people are willing to take up the post because you are going to work away from Hong Kong? So what are the incentives the SL government can have to find the right person to fill the post, to be heading the ETO on the mainland? So I'd like to know a bit more about that. And my other questions are, as I heard from the administration, that you talk about the amendment to copyright ordinance and also AI generative functions on behalf of the publishing industry and the film industry. But I had communications with practitioners in those fields, and I thought there would be a relevant bill submitted to LegCo, but it didn't happen in the end. But what about the legislative intentions for this year alike? It seems that there are no relevant amendments for the copyright ordinance. So what is the government's thinking? Would you submit relevant bills to us shortly? Because we do want to continue to collaborate or communicate with the administration. And lastly, on the ETO, policy address a few years back mentioned that because we need to tell a good story about Hong Kong, so ETO should step up its cultural function. But my understanding is that because of resources, maybe ETOs has its own ETOs portfolios, so cultural activities come under the Sports, Culture, Tourism Bureau. So is it that the officers don't have the resources to engage in cultural promotional work, but there can be collaboration between the Bureau and the office so that Hong Kong's performing artists can tap into the mainland market more? Thank you, Mr. Falk, for your question. On the Mr. Chang and of the Tianjin ETO, Hong Kong SL government do attach its importance to the integrity of its staff. We have the code of conduct for all civil servants, whether it is a civil servant or high on a contract basis, post-retirement, work for people working in the ETOs, regardless of their rank, they need to comply with the Civil Service Code of Conduct. I believe what happened was just an isolated incident. And the staff dispatched to the mainland, they are working away from Hong Kong, from their home, and they are working in an unfamiliar environment, but they still do their best to fulfill their responsibilities and pay attention to their personal conduct to ensure that, and also ensure that our colleagues comply with the high standards of conduct. We would actually come up with guidelines for the conduct of our staff and also provide regular training to make sure that our staff will comply with the relevant rules and guidelines to make sure they are people with integrity, honest, and reliable, so that their public duties would not lead to, at least be seen to have, conflict of interest. And I do expect our staff to act in a way that aligns with the requirements of the Code of Conduct. If we discover any inappropriate behavior, like what happened in the recent case, we would actually impose disciplinary investigation or even refer the case to enforcement authorities. And since what happened, we have reminded our staff at various ETOs again that they must pay attention to their own personal conduct, be uncorrupt, and also we would review further how to strengthen our staff at ETOs, their awareness of the importance of integrity. And we would, depending on staff's performance and intention, and also the past experience in selecting the right person to fulfill various positions. If there are no appropriate civil servants who can fill the post in our ETOs, then we would consider, through a contract scheme, hire former civil servants who have retired or about to retire. Thank you. Very clear. Commerce and Economic Development Bureau. Permanent Secretary, please. Yes, on Mr. Fox's question, the first one about last year, the copyright ordinance, the latest on that. We have been actively communicated with the sectors, and the sectors do support our act to make amendments to it. And we've also heard from the sectors that they hope that in relation to exemptions or waivers, there can be more guidelines provided so they know about the tools that they can use available in the market for them to protect their own copyright. So we do want to issue the guidelines, and we have also noticed that in other jurisdictions, in terms of the plugging legal loopholes, they have made progress. So we are, on the one hand, trying to, on the actual operations, come up with actual guidelines before having thorough communications with the sector again. And as for ETOs, let me say that ETOs, even though they're under our bureau, but all along they represent the Hong Kong SAR government. So all along they've been playing the role of providing support for various policies of different bureaux, like in terms of promoting tourism or sports, or in attracting talent into Hong Kong. So ETOs have been helping various bureaus to achieve their objectives. So we know that they do need the resources to do the work. In terms of promoting cultural activities, the Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau also allocates resources to ETOs so as to help them carry out the promotional work needed. Thank you. So 10 members have asked questions today, and we've got detailed responses, so I've got no other questions. So I'd like to thank the big team from the different bureau for attending today's meeting. So AOB, let me remind you that our next meeting will be held on February 24, a Tuesday. The time has changed. It will start from 2:30 to 4:30. And the administration is prepared to talk about a partner scheme and also the establishment of a new ETO in Kuala Lumpur, as well as the Innovation and Technology Fund latest progress, and also personnel proposals and the funding requested. So that's on February 24th. Any other AOP? No? Okay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.